Përshëndetje miq të programit Familja 7. 2 vite pas masakrës së 7 tetorit 2023 nga Hamasi në Izrael, ku u vranë 1200 persona dhe u rrëmbyen 251 të tjerë, prej të cilëve 48 vazhdojnë ende që të mbahen peng, Izraeli vazhdon të përballet me një luftë në shumë fronte. Luftimet në Gaza vazhdojnë, ndërsa tensionet mbeten të larta në veri dhe në rajone të tjera. Përtej betejave fizike, një lufte globale ndaj të vërtetës, edhe një rritje e antisemitizmit është përhapur në mbar botën, duke sfiduar në fakt jo vetëm sigurinë e Izraelit, por edhe ndërgjegjen morale të kombeve. Kemi nderin e veçantë, kemi në këtë intervistë ambasadoren e Izraelit në Shqipëri, zonjën Galit Peleg, në një bisedë për 7 tetorin e vitit 2023 dhe çfarë po ndodh me Izraelin sot. It is an honor and privilege having you in this interview.
Thank you very much for having me.
Faleminderit shumë për kohën tuaj. Pyetja e parë, si ndiheni personalisht në këtë përvjetor të një ngjarje kaq të rëndë për popullin e Izraelit? Çfarë të kujton 7 tetori viti 2023?
You know, I was just remembering today that on 6th of October, I attended here in Tirana a lecture of Garry Kasparov, the famous chess player. And I was very excited. And we even talked about Israel. And then I came home. And the next morning, we woke up to an event that changed for us, the world. And it took me a year to remember what I did on 6th of October. It's a wonder how our brain works. The trauma was so strong, even though I was in Tirana. So it's not about me, it's about the people that went through this horrible attack. But at the same time, it shows that you didn't have to be there to understand how traumatic this event was, and I will explain. Since the birth of the State of Israel, and even a little bit before, Israel knew terror attacks, knew wars. But what happened on 7th of October 2023 was very different. It was different in the scale of the attack. It was different in the nature of the attack, in the cruelty, and the fact that it affected so many people, not only the people that were there. Now, people tend to think that only Israelis were slaughtered and murdered and raped and taken hostages. But there were other people there. There were not only Jews, by the way. There were Christians, there were Muslims, there were people that were in Israel from Nepal, from Thailand, from the Philippines. The terrorists didn't care who they are. They knew that they are attacking the state of Israel, and even I remember there was one Bedouin Israeli, he was driving his car with his wife and his baby, and he's a Muslim, and his wife was with a hijab, so they could clearly see that they are Muslims. And he told the terrorists, "Hey, I'm a Muslim," and they told him, "You live in Israel, for us you are a Jew." And they shot his wife and they shot his kid, and they left him alive, but they killed his family. And 7th of October is so traumatic for everybody that was there, but everybody that heard the stories, and everybody that was watching the footage that came out of this day. And until today, in Israel, we are 2 years later, until today, we say we are a nation in trauma, not even post-trauma. We still have 48 hostages in Gaza. We still have thousands of people that don't live in their home because their home were burned. We have a lot of families that still mourn their loved ones. And another thing that people are not aware in the world, a lot of people had 2 funerals, because when their body returned from Gaza or discovered, they couldn't bury them in their place. They had to bury them in the place where they were displaced. And now they are starting to return to the kibbutz around Gaza, to kibbutz Be'eri, to kibbutz Kfar Aza, to Sderot. And now they take their loved ones from the temporary grave and they do another funeral. So there are so many traumas that the people are going through that it's very difficult to explain to people that are not in Israel.
Zonja Galit, TV7 Albania dhe Radio 7 në serinë e programeve Kthim në shtëpi kanë përcjell për audiencën shqiptare dhe jo vetëm historinë e secilit nga 251 pengjet dhe përmes familjarëve apo miqve ne I kemi kujtuar audiencës tonë se ata ishin civil të pafajshëm kur në shtëpitë e tyre u rrëmbyen brutalisht. I kemi nxitur dëgjuesit tanë që të luten për ta çdo ditë për kthimin e tyre në shtëpi. Kemi falenderuar Zotin për përgjigjet e lutjeve për secilin peng që është kthyer në shtëpinë e tij I shëndetshëm. Sot janë akoma edhe 48 pengje. A keni informacion mbi gjendjen e atyre që janë ende gjallë? A mund të na përshkruani disa prej tyre sepse edhe ne në fakt duam që të tregojmë historinë e tyre, pra për këtë pjesë tjetër të pengjeve.
So as you mentioned, there are 48 hostages that are still in Gaza. As far as we know, from information that we gathered from different sources, around 20 of them are probably still alive. We are not sure in what condition. From time to time, the terrorists are releasing video clips of the hostages in order to put more pressure on the Israeli government. I would call it also even a digital terror, because they torture the families. When a family sees, for example, we about 3 weeks ago, we saw the clip of Eviatar David, who is a 24-year-old young man. All his life is ahead of him. And you can see him looks like a skeleton. He weighs, I don't know, maybe 30 kilos. From a guy that was like 70 kilos, now you see only the bones. And you see him in a tunnel digging his own grave. I mean, these are tortures that are not only physical but also psychological, and also not only on the hostages themselves but also on their families. But at least it's a signal of life. We got the same signal of life from other hostages. There are some that their families know nothing about their well-being, or even if they are alive. Only 2 months ago, we had here a father of one of the hostages, Tamir Nimrodi, that his son is 21 or 22 years old, that they didn't hear, their family didn't hear about their son for 2 years now. They have no idea. Since 7th of October, nobody knows. Some of the information is coming from hostages that were released and came back. About this guy, nobody heard of him anything. So they don't know, which is more torture for his family. So majority of the hostages today are either young men between the ages of 20 and 30, but also there are fathers there, and there are older people, and there are people with families. There are two brothers and also twins that are there. And can you imagine what their mother is thinking, that she knows that both her sons are there, hopefully that they are alive, and each one of them has his own story. But for example, Alon Oel is a young guy. He's also 25 years old. He's a very talented pianist. His mother was here in September, here in Tirana. She met with Prime Minister Rama. She met with President Begay. She met with back then Speaker of the Parliament, Spiro Pali. And her son, we got some footage of him. He didn't see light for 2 years. He didn't see the sunlight. He's in tunnels for 2 years. We know that he lost sight in one eye. His other eye, nobody knows what's the condition. He's very skinny, very hungry, and but at least we got information that he's alive now. So the information is very, very limited to what the terrorists want to release. We know that these young people are desperate. We know that they are very hungry. We know that they are very skinny. We know that they are very weak physically. And we know that they didn't see sunlight for close to 2 years. We don't know in what condition they will come back. The hospitals in Israel are now preparing to accept them. Hospitals, doctors, nurses, psychologists, psychiatrists preparing for their return. There is a kind of glimpse of hope now with a deal that is being suggested by President Trump. But in any case, we know that every day counts. So the sooner they will return, the sooner their lives will be saved.
Këto janë histori vërtet të dhimbshme dhe është bisedë vështirë në fakt të flasim sepse edhe shumë prej tyre nuk janë gjallë. E megjithatë Izraeli po kërkon me ngulm kthimin e trupave të tyre, kthimin e secilit në mënyrë që familjarët mund t'i përcjellin. Në traditën hebraike, pse janë të rëndësishëm edhe trupat e vdekur? Izraelit po I kushtojnë shumë edhe kufomat, nëse mund të përdorim këtë fjalë të rëndë për ta dëgjuar.
We believe that every person, every soul is a whole world. You can see these words even engraved in the monument here in the park, in the monument for the Holocaust. And we believe that every person must be brought to a dignified burial. A mother or a wife or a son, they need a place to go and grieve. We believe that until everybody will return to Israel, whether they are alive or dead, we will not be able to close the circle. We will not be able to heal. Among the hostages, there is one soldier that I happen to be very close to his family, that he was abducted not on 7th of October. He was abducted in 2011. His name is Adar Goldin. He was abducted during a ceasefire. He was a soldier. During a ceasefire, Hamas kidnapped him and killed him, and his family is still fighting for many years for the return of his body. It is very sacred, the body of a person. You can say, it's only a shell and the soul is inside, but we believe that he has the right, everybody has the right to be buried, to be dignified, and to have the respect even after your burial, and you have a place where people can come, your family, your loved one can come and mourn on your grave.
Çfarë jeni duke besuar dhe shpresuar në këtë kohë për kombin e Izraelit?
As I said, it's the events of 7th of October 2023 are still very much vivid and alive in Israel. We are still in a trauma. We are not even in the post-trauma. We are still in the trauma. We have children that were traumatized. I will tell you about, for example, about 3 children of one family. Family Dan. The father was murdered in the yard. The mother was shot inside the shelter. The little girl that was on the hands of the father, she was 3 years old, Abigail, she escaped to the neighbors and then she was taken as hostage to Gaza. The 2 older children, Michael and Amalia, were hiding in the closet for 14 hours. They saw the body of their mother lying there, and they were very brave. And for 14 hours, they were on the phone with someone that that was talking to them and encouraging them until the soldiers came and actually rescued them. These children live with trauma until today. We cannot say it happened in the past, it's over. It's not over for them. They are just a symbol. I think our whole nation is still in this trauma and still processing. Now, we are not in the stage that we said, okay, now we start healing. Because as long as the hostages are still in Gaza, we feel we are still in this situation. Now, what I wish to my people is that the hostages will come home, those who are alive, that they will be able to recover, those who are dead, unfortunately, will be buried, like I said, with dignity, and their family will have a closure, and then we will start a process of healing. When we will start a process of healing, we will be able to accept what happened to us. Look, the people of Israel returned from ashes after the Holocaust. My grandparents, my father is a Holocaust survivor. My grandparents are Holocaust survivors. But they came to Israel, they built a state, they build economy, they build society, and thank God we are, I think, very successful country among nations. They managed to heal. They didn't forget what happened, but they managed to heal. We need to heal from this catastrophe, from this massacre, but first we have to everybody must return home. Then we can start a process of healing. What I wish to my people, and you know, we are now just at the beginning of the new Jewish year, and if this deal that is being dealt now will really come to implementation, and we will see the hostages home very soon, only then we will be able to start the new year with good news and to have hope. Because, you know, we say during the life of the Jewish people, not only from 1948, from the establishment of the State of Israel, but for 3,000 years of the existence of the Jewish people, we had enemies that wanted to destroy us, but we prevailed. And we will prevail also from this catastrophe. But we need to come to a kind of a closure to start healing. I wish my people to heal, that the wounds will be closed, that we will learn from our past and we will look to the future, because I think we have great future in front of us. We are strong people, we are lions.
Pra në mes të gjithë kësaj dhimbje, cili është dhe mesazhi I shpresës që Izraeli dëshiron t'i jap, t'i përcjell botës sot?
To the world, first, it's important to say that we are here and we are here to stay. We knew terror in the past, we knew attacks in the past. We are strong people. But I think it's very important to say that a terror attack on Israel is not only on Israel. We see Israel as a buffer between the world that want to develop, that aspires life, that appreciates life, and the world of terror, the world of darkness. And when Israel is being attacked as a symbol of the West, of the advanced world, of a country that has, of a nation that is here for many years, it's only the beginning. And that's why we believe that we have a double responsibility. We have responsibility to protect ourselves, but also to prevent the spillover of this terror and this peace and these dark forces towards Europe, towards United States. Now, I will tell you even furthermore. We see what's going on today. Today, literally, on 7th of October, we see what's happening in some capitals in Europe. There are today protests and celebrations of 7th of October in Berlin, in Rome, in London, in some campuses in the United States. And you cannot understand how people can celebrate a massacre. The very unfortunate thing that developed developed after 7th of October, we saw also side by side this fighting with Israel and terror attacks on Israel, the rise of anti-Semitism. Anti-Semitism in the streets of Europe that is translated to not only to hate but also violent hate. And Europe is not immune from this violence. If you allow an attack on a synagogue, tomorrow it will be an attack on a church. And it will be attack on people in the streets because they don't pray like you or because they don't think what you think. So I think my message to the world is when you see terror attacking Israel, don't think that it will stay there. Understand that we all have a mission to stop this kind of negative movements to protect our world.
Një pyetje pak personale, çfarë të frymëzon ty personalisht në shërbimin tënd diplomatik në një kohë të ndjeshme edhe ndoshta të vështirë?
Look, I chose this career because I believe in my country, I believe in my people, and I'm very proud to be an Israeli, an official Israeli in the world. But I think after 7th of October, and I know that many people are saying it, my Jewish identity became more stronger. I understand more the connection between the Jewish people, the state of Israel, and the fact that when we say that we have to be an example to the world, it means that we have to be better, that there is a lot of expectations from us to be better. And another thing that I see since 7th of October is very clearly who are our real friends, those who are supporting Israel in times of crisis, not only when it's convenient, not only when they want to affect the economical situation, but really give support for a friend in need, even sometimes when it's not very comfortable. So I think this is something that I see very clearly, and this is something that I found here in Albania, the friendship.
Pra si e perceptoni mbështetjen që Shqipëria dhe shqiptarët kanë dhënë në kohë të vështira për Izraelin?
You know, the first meeting, official meeting I had after 7th of October, I think it was 9th of October, I went to meet then Foreign Minister Igli Hassani. We just met. And it was like 2 days after the massacre. And I told him, you know, my first instinct now is to be with my people. I want to be in Israel. But if I'm not in Israel, my second choice will be Albania. The support and the empathy that we receive here for the last 2 years, I think I'm very lucky to be the Israeli ambassador in Albania and not in another country. We receive this support from the Prime Minister until the people in the street. I remember after 7th of October, I used to go in the street, I went to the bank, I went to the shop. When people recognize who I was, immediately they say, we sympathize with you. We are so sorry for what happened to you. And when I heard my colleagues in other countries saying that there were, you know, people were shouting at them all kinds of things, bad things in the street, I said, I'm so lucky I'm in Albania. And that's in the level of the street. On the level of the political level, the fact that Albania continues to stand very, very clear and loud against terrorism, against anti-Semitism. You don't have anti-Semitism here, and still your politicians are very much loud against anti-Semitism. This is something that is very noticeable in Jerusalem. We mention it every time, and I think that Albania, even after 7th of October, became much more popular in Israel because of the very, very clear stand that we support your people, we support your country, and even if sometimes there is some critics about political stance, it doesn't matter, because the basic relations and the basic support and the basic kindness is here. And I will tell you another thing. Since last year, we started direct flights to Albania from Tel Aviv to Tirana. And we have many tourists here. I don't know how much you notice, but when I walk in the streets in Tirana, in Skanderberg Square, or in the parks, I hear Hebrew. I see groups, I see individuals. And one thing that I see that Israelis are saying, and I see it on Facebook and Twitter and in groups that they are talking among themselves, and they say, first of all, the Albanians are very kind people. This is the first thing they notice, but also they say, we, especially since the war started and since the massacre of 7th of October, there are many places in the world that we don't feel safe to say we are Israelis, we are not safe to wear the Star of David. In Albania, we can walk in the street, we can say, I'm from Israel, we can walk with, if there are religious people, with yarmulke, that is religious Jewish people go, and we are not afraid, because we know that people here are kind and they respect us, and there is long history of the Jewish people with Albania, with Albanian people. Albanians like to mention a lot saving the Jews during the Holocaust, but I think since then we had a lot of history that was written, even contemporary history, that is positive history. And even if we have some here and there, some isolated events that people are not very nice, the impression is that Israelis, even walking in the street, feel the same friendship that I feel from the government of Albania, they feel in the street. And in these times, we appreciate it very much.
Na vjen mirë teksa dëgjojmë që keni këto konsiderate dhe përshtypje të mirë për Shqipërinë dhe për shqiptarët. Një pyetje e fundit do të ishte, a keni një mesazh për komunitetin e krishterë në Shqipëri dhe në Kosovë? Si mund të lutemi, si mund ta ndihmojmë Izraelin në këtë kohë?
So I have to say that the hug that we received from the Christian community here is sometimes bring me to tears. Right after 7th of October, the war started, and there was criticism of Israel. Why you reacted like this? Why? And some people forgot, when they saw the pictures of the hostages, they forgot that these are not soldiers. These are civilians that were attacked at home. But from the Christian community here, we got so much support, emotional support. We saw people talking about it, even on the media, calling to release the hostages. The prayers in the churches. I visited some churches. My deputy went to visit churches. I spoke with pastors here in Tirana and in other places in Albania. And I participated in some prayers for Israel. And it was so emotional for me to see this support for the state of Israel, for the Jewish people, this really genuine connection that Christians here in Albania feel towards the Jewish people, and supporting Israel, especially in this time of crisis, that we were so vulnerable and we needed this hug. So first I want to say thank you. Really big thank you, a big appreciation. I think the Christian community here is the community that we know right from the beginning that we can trust. And we know that if we need something and we address, we will always have the attention and the attentive ear to our requests and to our questions and to our needs. And the moral support that we received is really invaluable. And I want to say thank you. Thank you very much.
Edhe ne duam të falenderojmë. Faleminderit për punën tënde, për mikpritjen tënde, për thjeshtësinë tënde mbi gjitha. Zoti bekoft jetën tënde, familjen tënde. Shumë faleminderit.
Thank you very much, and keep praying for us. And we will pray for you.
Ne do të lutemi për ju, lutemi vazhdimisht për Izraelin, ne jemi në krahun tuaj.
Thank you very much, and God bless Israel and God bless Albania.
Faleminderit.
Thank you.